Again, by the stomach, like that, okay? And then starting at the very back, just cut along the base of the dorsal assembly. Okay, now, in a large lionfish, you'll notice this spine here is coming rather close to my hand. You want to be careful because in a large lionfish, and if you go too quickly, you can get juked. Once you've snipped them off, I suggest you fling them overboard. Having these things lay around the bottom of your boat or the bottom of a cooler or in shallow water where people are going to stand up, not a good idea, okay? Once you've done that, same thing along the bottom. You note, I'm holding him here where I've just removed the spines. There's no danger there. Snip along the bottom. Once you make sure you get everything, again, fling him overboard, okay? You want to be extra safe, go ahead and snip off caudal fins. Although, personally, I don't think that's necessary. The rest of the time, you can do whatever you want with it, okay? On a large lionfish, and I hope we'll all be getting some really big boys, on the top of the head, you can see sort of where the cheek is, top of the nose. There are little spiny protrusions that stick out, okay? The larger the lionfish, the larger those protrusions. If you're handling a lionfish barehanded like I'm doing right now and you rub your hands up and down on them and they form little cuts, those of you who have ever wrung a lobster by hand without gloves and then had the blood spill into the little cuts and nicks on your hands, that burning sensation, that's what you can expect from the cuts on the head of a lionfish.
Are the pectoral fins no problem?
No, the pectoral fins are all gelatinous. Like I demonstrated earlier, you can leave those on, you can bounce around, press them all you want, not a problem. Again, right at the very, very base of the pectoral fin, there is a bony protrusion. If you shoot a lionfish through the fin, sometimes that can come out. You want to be careful, okay? So again, as a general rule, if you're picking up a lionfish, make sure he's dead, okay? You don't want to handle a flipping and flopping fish. Like Paul said, you want to be careful handling them into the boat. When you're shooting a lionfish, if you're not using a paralyzer point, you're using a Hawaiian sling, leave the sling on the spear and hold the spear behind the sling. So you have fish, sling, hand, okay? That gives you a little bit of insurance. When you hand it up to the boatman, make sure the boatman knows what he's doing and handles it so that when he slides the sling off, it goes straight where the boatman intends it, into a bucket, into a cooler with ice. These fish are intended for consumption. Those of us who want to, when we bring them back, we will have a little filleting processing going on. They will be eaten here. We'd like you to keep them well iced. There's nothing like stink fish, okay? Just to things like bee stings and wasp bites, you want to be careful fooling around with these. Or if you have a low pain tolerance and you have a congenital heart defect, which means you can have a heart attack brought on by the pain caused by these. Other than that, it's like any other fish. Treat it with respect, treat it with care, okay? You won't have a problem. You bring a wahoo, a barracuda, or a toothy fish into the boat, you stay away from his teeth, right? You don't put your hand where you might get bit. Same thing when you're handling lionfish, all right? Treat them with caution, remove the spines. Again, at your earliest opportunity, dispose of them in deep water, and your fish becomes safe to handle. Top and bottom, once he's snipped, it's a lock. Ow! This one right here, okay, on the bottom of the fish, that's the anus of the fish. This assembly here. Snip that off, as well as these guys.
Wasn't there one off?
Yes, the caudal fin here. In this one, again, these have been sloshing around in the back of my car, so the spines are exposed. But when you bring one in fresh, 9 times out of 10, you don't see that bone protruding there. It's sheathed by the fin. If you want to be extra sure, okay, slip that off on both sides, there and there. But no, listen. But the way the fin is normally laid, okay, unless the fin is destroyed or damaged, when you grab the fish underneath like that, it's laying flat against your hand, not at an angle where it can penetrate. Okay, so that presents less of a problem, like I said, unless the fin is damaged by a spear fisherman, or like I've just done now. If I run my hand like that, he's going to get me. Okay, hot water And if that's not working for you, you might need to get a cortisone shot from the doctor. But if you treat it carefully and quickly, it doesn't hurt to suck. If you get
Suck it
stuck,
like a snake bite place.
that's right. Suck it out. It doesn't affect you gastrointestinally.
Those are lovely fish, aren't they?
Belly full too.
Yeah, you'll see in the dissections that she's doing now a lot of spawn. And if you look for the spawn, you'll see the clear gelatinous coating that I was telling you about that has the scientist thinks it contains some sort of chemical compound that makes it unpalatable. Go over and have a look.
So when you say spawn, you mean eggs?
Eggs, yes.
Over.
Do the males have a sperm sac or something?
Yeah, they copulate just like other fish, except that they don't spawn in aggregation. One male to one female. So they could do their business anywhere, anytime. And they breed every 35 to 40 days, which really make them a terrifying predator. Highly efficient in reproduction, highly efficient hunters, spell trouble.